So we've been asked to simplify this algebraic fraction. We can see that both expressions in the numerator and the denominator are quadratic expressions. So that's leading us to think that if things are going to simplify, something has to cancel. Well, I can't simply divide by x squared because when you're cancelling fractions, it has to be in every part of the expression, every term of the expression. So if there was an x squared there, an x squared there, an x squared there, not a problem. Could have divided everything by x squared, but there isn't. I can't divide the 9s because there's no 9 there, there's no 9 there, there's no 9 there, or no multiple of 9. So in either of those three terms there. So it's not just a simple case of just crossing out. It's question 24 on a GCSE higher paper, so therefore it's not going to be a case of just simply crossing things out. It's about looking at what skills do you know about quadratic expressions. Well, we know that quadratic expressions can be factorised. So we've got quadratic expressions. So we should be saying to ourselves, what can we do to change, to simplify down? So quadratic expressions, we recognise we can factorise them. So we look at these and we can see that there's no common term, no common factor to either of those two terms. So it's going to be two brackets. Again, on the in the numerator and denominator position, again, both expressions don't have common factors. So going to be two brackets on both numerator position and denominator position. Now this particular one at the top here is a special type of quadratic. It's called the difference of two squares, square, square, 3 squared, x times x. So we're basically thinking two brackets, difference of two squares, so square root both of the terms to give you the bracket terms. We check by multiplying back out. X times x is x squared, 3 times x is 3x, negative 3x, so 3 take away 3x is 0, so 3x take away 3x is 0, and then we've got positive 3 times negative 3, negative 9. And the bottom, well, the denominator position, we recognise that if it's going to simplify, one of these brackets must be on the bottom, otherwise it won't cancel through and make it look simpler. This time though we recognise that the expression on the bottom has 2x squared at the front, so we're going to need a 2x in one of these brackets and x in the other to make the 2x squared when we do the multiplication out. We've got take away 9, which we recognise means that we've got to have a 3 and a 3 involved to make the 9. We need a 3 because these top two have a 3 in them, so it's not going to be 9 and 1, so it has to be 3 and 3. What we've got to do now is see what do we put inside between these terms. Do we put a plus or a minus? Well, because we need a negative there, one of these must be plus and one of these must be negative. We need more negative x's than positive, so I'm going to put the negative there to create more negative x's, and then this must be positive. We check it, of course. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x, but then we've got this 3x here to combat that down to negative 3x, and then positive 3 times negative 3, negative 9. In the numerator and the denominator, we can see we've got the same bracket, therefore we can now cancel through, because times that, we can divide by x minus 3, both top and bottom, both numerator and denominator, and dividing that by x minus 3 makes 1, divide that by x minus 3 makes 1, so we end up with that times 1 and that times 1, which leaves us with x plus 3 over 2x plus 3. So that's our final answer for this particular question. We should of course check that it works, so we should give x a value. So if we gave x a value of 1, then the top here would give us an answer of negative, so the numerator would give us an answer of negative 8. 1 in here would give us 2, take away 3 is negative 1, take away 9 more is going to be negative 10, so this cancels down to 4/5. If we put 1 in here, then we get 1 plus 3 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5. Both answers gave us 4/5, so our check, happy days, is correct. So basically, to simplify, when you've got quadratic expressions, we're going to look to use our skills of factorising. Brackets will cancel, leaves us with a simpler expression. Check by putting a number into the original expression. 1 seems sensible, low number. Then check with the same value of x on the end answer, and if both give you the same, then you've simplified down carefully enough.